Okay, get up on the roof here at Michael and Becky's house on Honeysuckle Drive in Rockledge. Especially for Michael, I made some notes up on the roof. That way you get to hear and see everything that I found and the notes that I made, and then Becky doesn't have to try and translate everything that we talked about already. So first, these 3 reminder arrows. The first one is to talk about the gutters. So I've already priced, I don't know if you've seen the promotion, but Collis is offering free gutters with your new roof. So that's already been added. The second one is to talk about the drip edge, which you can't really see. You can see over there, right below the shingles, the flashing. So we're going to replace the drip edge with the new roof as well. And then, oh yeah, the third arrow is I'm going to go ahead and add the leaf guards in as well too, because I feel like you obviously need those. Those aren't included, but they'll be, you know, minimal at most, but definitely needed. And by the way, the ones that we use are metal, and so they're not going to fracture and break like the plastic ones that you have, especially when you look at the video or the photos on the back. They have all these big holes in them. This circle here is to talk about the granules, and the reason why that's so important is because the granules on the shingles, in every sense of the word, the granules are the sunblock for your house. So when you lose the granules, all the protective chemicals inside the asphalt shingles start to leach out, and then the shingles start to become extraordinarily brittle, just like these guys are starting to happen now. So Becky told me the roof is like 20 years old. That's actually really good miles for a roof in Florida. Almost every customer I meet, their roof is about 15, 16 years old. So 20 is pretty good. The flashing, we're gonna replace all the valley metal with your new roof as well too. We'll talk more about that in a minute. Getting up here, kind of steep. So the first thing I noticed when I got up on the roof is you have a lot of what's called lifted up shingles. Once you lose that adhesive bond between the back of the shingle and the roof itself, they keep flopping around until they eventually break off. And a really good sign of that are these crease marks right here, right? And there's more right there. So these guys have been moving for quite some time. Forget about hurricane season, anything remotely tropical storm related and above, these shingles are gonna start vibrating, flapping, and then eventually break off because they're getting so brittle. These are my codes for all the vents that I took pictures of up on the roof, and right here is where my chalk decided to jump off the roof. And then, oh, vents. So that's the old-timey ridge vent. We're gonna replace that with the new modern lower profile that has the shingle caps on top. But not to mention, you are, oh my gosh, you are terribly under vented on your roof. There's zero reason, good reason, as to why that back section, that should also be vented. You could argue that could be vented, but not so much as this. So there should be at least 20 more feet of vent there. At least 20 more feet of vent there. So you are like literally 50% under ventilated on this roof. You gotta let that roof breathe, get that heat out of there, and it's gonna save the life of your shingles tremendously, for sure. I don't really need to go down there. Oh, tell you what, let's talk real quick about how we're gonna redo your roof correctly. So if you would, imagine this with me. We're gonna remove all the shingles, get down to the bare plywood. Anything remotely bad we're gonna replace. I've included 2 full sheets of plywood, and those full sheets can be sectioned out into pieces. Usually where water cascades off of one roof and then water falls onto another roof, a lot of times it gets soft, water damage underneath of there. So we're gonna inspect every inch of this bare plywood roof, replace what's ever needed. There's 2 building codes that have been upgraded in the last couple years. The first one says re-nail the plywood decking to the roof trusses. The code used to say 12 inches, now it says 6 inches. We go every 4 to 5 inches. We're gonna double, triple the number of nails holding your plywood to your roof trusses. And then the other one, hopefully you're aware of, is called peel and stick, waterproof barrier. We're gonna cover every inch of this bare plywood roof with that super sticky rubberized waterproof membrane. That way, well, it's not a question of if, but when we do get a hurricane, and I really hope you know, your brand new roof survives, but even if you do lose a few shingles, it's still not gonna allow water inside the house with that waterproof barrier. Okay, and then on top of that, we're gonna put you basically get your pick between CertainTeed and Owens Corning. I'm not partial to either, but we do seem to sell a lot more Owens Corning. And then we'll put your 30-year duration architectural shingles over top of that. So that's about it. And I'm gonna get down and finish up, talk with Becky. Thanks.